Yo, what's up, guys? CastnBlast here, and I'm bringing to you Witch Slap. You guys have been asking for it for a while. It's not my favorite type of attack, but we're going to dive into it and look at the variations. You got different types of bases being built now. Ones with heroes together, ones with heroes separately. This can be an Expo Island with the Expo there. Elongated bases, tight-knit bases, Wiz Tower Islands, whatever. There's a lot of different types of attacks. And Witch Slap comes in a couple different forms. The main two forms that I'm going to talk about is the no healer 2 golem version. Then you got the couple healers 1 golem. And I've even seen 0 golems, healers, witches, and on the interior crew, you can have your heroes and maybe some Valks, P.E.K.K.A., whatnot. And we even have a player doing Witch Slap with half the witches on one side and a Queen Walk on the other side. Then the king has the kill squad with either P.E.K.K.A. or Valks. So it's a little more diverse than sometimes I usually say set it and forget it, but it mainly is a set it and forget it type of attack. So with the no healer version, which you see here, he's got 2 golems. Usually you're going to take bullers in the CC on almost every Town Hall 9 attack now. I don't know. It's just what people do. 10 witches. For the most part on the no healer, you're keeping witches on the side. You want kind of a tighter base, kind of like this, where everything will rain down on the middle. Either that or your anchor points. If you set like 2 golems on the outside, say you're putting a golem here, you're putting a golem here for everything to focus on. And using no healers, you want those anchor points taking all this type of front fire, so your witches can start in, the skellies can draw fire, and your witches stay alive because they got no heal. And he's only using 2 jumps, 2 rages, no wall breakers. Very simplistic, very effective. One thing does go a little bit astray on this, and we'll take a look at it. So the first part of any sort of attack is you want to get a funnel cleared out initially, and that's where your attack is gonna fail or succeed. So this one, he starts witches, and you need them start getting their skellies out, right? Because the skellies are gonna collect the fire, so your witches don't get fired. And then he brings his golems in. He brings this one a little bit wide. I know he's trying to collect in all that splash defense and maybe get a walk around tank for him. But usually you want your tanks on the inside so they can tank. So you get those outside buildings cut, and he's putting most of his witches. You usually go 4-4 on each of the corners, 2 on the insides with your heroes, and you want your golems up front. So one thing I always try to, stress is if you're getting a jump down, make sure that jumps down and your golems are walking up in front, and then put your heroes on an anchor building and let those get in. Witch Slap, one thing that can save you is you're getting a lot of skellies built, so they are going to start leading the charge. But if you have something like your king lead the charge, he's going to take the brunt of all the first damage, and until those defenses are killed, he's going to continue to take the brunt of the damage. So luckily those skellies start taking the damage and nothing aggroes in on the king initially, but you'll see he's leading the charge right now, and he's taking all that aggro damage. Now you have no healers and you have no heal spells, so once he's gone, he's gone. But if those golems were in front, he wouldn't be taking the damage. So that's something to think about, guys, and make sure you are following that sort of path. So you can see this golem is trailing because he got locked on to that mortar. So it's best to take that mortar down, get that golem inside, and that's what I said is the mistake on this one. Let those golems take that damage. That's their job. That's their only job. So if you're bringing 2 of them, you want them to take as much damage as possible. Otherwise, on this attack, he's getting a good line, as in keeping his attack moving at the same time, which is very important in the Witch Slap attack. You want your middle troops and your outside troops moving together across the base. One fluid sweeping motion straight across the base. That jump, he places it so his troops can get into the base, out of the base, but his queen just decides to shoot walls anyways, because what is a queen if she's not shooting walls? Because there's a jump beside her. She could go anywhere, but she shot a wall, and now she's shooting another one. Hey, the golem that wasn't smart enough to take the inside jump and sat there just punching on the outside went to take the jump. He was smart enough to go the jump, but not the queen. She'll just shoot walls to get that one archer tower down. So everything you can see, if you've done this attack right and you've cleaned the base in motion with those skellies running in front, you know, collecting fire, and your wizards and witches on the outside taking down everything, your kill squad moving through the middle, it should all focus at the end. You should get everything meeting at the very end of the attack, and that's what happens. Now, your golems need to collect fire. If you got an entire full health golem, not even, you know, a broken golem at the end, it means he really didn't do his job. And this base was taken down with ease. He's had enough troops. He still had his queen's ability. But that small mistake in the beginning, you know, not letting those golems lead the charge, ended up he had a full golem at the end. So, you know, not really utilizing that fully. But that is the troops and the spells for a no healer type of witch slap. Let's take a look at a couple different variations. So this is one you guys are probably most familiar with. You know, double jump, a rage, a heal, bowlers in the CC, 10 witches again, 1 golem, and you're bringing healers. So you keep, you know, about 4 witches and 2 healers on each of the edge and let them walk down the base, and then you move your kill squad through the middle to deal with everything. This is obviously a 9.5 or a brand new 10, however you want to split the hairs when you're talking about engineering. But, you know, you'll face bases like this quite a bit, and you'll see Witch Slap's able to take down a lot of different type of bases. So once again, you get your witches on the outside, up there, down there, and you get the healers on them, get them producing skeletons, so the skeletons are collecting fire, and get those witches under heal so you don't lose them. Once they start clearing that funnel well, you get your kill squad in, your first jump down, then you usually rage up your troops right off the bat with one of your poisons or 2 of your poisons. You know, if you got a good scout and you know there's no skellies to mess with you, or you feel confident, you can lead the CC with a double poison. So you usually use a rage and then heal them up once that rage is done. Doesn't make sense to heal them through a rage. And then use the next jump to continue them through the base. And as you'll see, just witches under heal. They're not walking with any whiz. They work a little bit slower, but they're going to stay alive. You're going to get a lot of distance out of them. So you just got to be careful that you don't get your kill squad too far ahead, you know, of your witches. But they're healing up, and the only thing you'd really have to worry about is outside air bombs. Or what you'll see up here. This is what you need to definitely pay attention to: outside air defenses that can take down those healers. Now, if they're in the beginning of the base, you need to figure out something different to get those down, or not walk to that portion. At the very end, and you know you're going to have your troops pushing around, it can be okay to lose some healers after, you know, you feel confident you're going to get a giant push out of your heroes, out of your kill squad. And mind you, again, he's doing it with 21 and 23 heroes against a new Town Hall 10 base, whatever we're calling them these days. But it's still very effective. He did lose his healers. And even if you lose your healers, just like the last attack, he didn't use healers. So those skellies, once they're off and running and they keep on producing, you know, they can be enough distraction for most of the defenses that you don't have to worry about losing your witches. So enough witches left. His queen left. He finally pops her ability, and he only brought 1 golem. It just busted into golemites. Good usage of that interior squad and a good hit on that. So we'll take a look again. So this is the one that, once again, we're most familiar with, just single golem, 10 witches, 4 healers, pretty much the same exact set as before, but he's bringing a double rage instead of a heal. That can be hit or miss. If you feel like you need a strong push through the core, there's a lot of high HP buildings that you want blasted through right away, and you'll see the reason he brings this is he's going to enter the base on this side, take care of the king, and he needs to hurry up his troops to get over here through the core so he doesn't use a heal. That's personal preference, debatable. So some hog players like bringing a heal and 2 heals and a rage. I like bringing 3 heals. It's all personal preference. So once again, he sets up his witches on the corners, gets some wizards and witches to start cleaning those outside buildings, healers on top of his witches, and he's going to try coming through the core, sets his golem in a spot that he thinks it will go, and it should. You set your golem here. That's way more than the aggro radius over here, but you never know. In Clash of Clans, there's that small percentage your troops won't do anything like they're designed to do, and so his golem walks around to the other buildings, and then his jump comes in for his heroes. So kind of probably it was a little panic, like, hey, what are you doing, golem? And then starts mashing down troops. We've all been there, but eventually, witches will keep on working their way around, and all his kill squad will get in there, take that jump. You can see this double poison comes down to deal with that wizard, baby drag, and his troops kind of take care of the Valkyrie all on their own. And it's going to continue like normal. Now, what he probably didn't expect is tons of black bombs on the outside to eat up his healers down below. So now his witches are running around with no heal on them. Up top, his witches still got the heal, and they're pretty much moving in unison with the heroes. Some of them have now gone into the inside, so the healers kind of just re-aggroed on the next closest troop that needed it. And this is where you're seeing bases, the kind of meta being changed. People are designing bases to be anti-slap, and we're seeing it in league play a lot. Clans will have their bases to be 100% anti-slap, and it opens them up for a lot of different type of attacks then. But what you're seeing is outside giant bombs. You're seeing outside air bombs to take out healers. And then the giant bombs, obviously skellies don't trip traps anymore. So your witches will walk right over those giant bombs, and goodbye witches. The outside air bombs are going to take care of your healers. You're seeing all these different types of changes as people try to defend this attack, because in the beginning, it was mostly a set it and forget it attack. Plop down your troops, lay a couple jumps, lay some rages, maybe a heal or so, and let them go to work and kick back and watch the 3-star, right? But you're seeing it designed to stop it, and that's good for the game. That's really good for the game. Let's take a look at something else here. Never mind, we'll just talk about, again, the no healer double golem version. This is more of a tight-knit base, and I gotta say, we'll let it just play out kind of as I talk you through it. Trying to shorten these videos for you guys. But basic concept of this is kind of more of a Town Hall 10 version. So if you get players that have a lot of Town Hall 10s, familiar with their attacks or do them a lot, I see that these players doing more attacks that represent more of the Town Hall 10 type of attacks. There's also tons of different ways to use witches, and I'll show you in the next video a couple different ideas on using them in kill squads now, using queen walks with them. You don't have to go the traditional 4 witches on each side, and then healers. This one, this type of attack, you're using 4 witches on each side and wizards. So you got to make sure you're funneling good and letting those golems take a brunt of the damage. Now he moves through the base very well because those wizards help clean up the sides, quickly with the witches. But at Town Hall 9, you see a lot of these outside defenses, more than you do, I think, at Town Hall 10, used to collect golems or funnel in troops. And they can be a killer when you're not using healers, because they can slowly pick off these witches And you got to be confident that you're going to get a lot of travel mileage out of your kill squad. You're going to get them deep in a base, and they're going to keep on taking care of things. And you got to make sure your tanks, those golems, are doing their job. So this golem decides to take a left turn again. He's kind of getting stuck in a wall, but you'll see he gets through that wall because it was already damaged, or with the help of some skellies. And he's going to tank some of the splash defense at the end, which helps out on the attack. So his troops move through with that double rage, double jump easily. And you're using, like I said, all the spells usually on your interior kill squad, or pretty much always, because you either have healers or you're just letting those witches and wizards slowly clean out the trash around the edges. So you'll see that golem that originally got stuck, got through the wall, and he just continued to collect up that splash defense, which could have been detrimental to your wizards, your witches, and your skellies. But with that golem doing his job, being that tank, all the rest of the troops are able to easily clean up everything and finally get around and take him out. So very effective attack. Like I said, there's multiple ways to do it. I tried searching in this last war. I couldn't find the no golem type with the 4 and 4, the traditional type, bringing 10 witches, but there is different types with no golems and only using like 4 or 5 witches. Now that's not a traditional witch slap. Witch slap, heavy witches. They're taking the brunt. They're doing the damage, right? So we'll go in on the next video and kind of watch what happens when you use witches not in the traditional witch slap type of way. So I hope you guys like it. Press like and subscribe. Ask me questions. If you got to, make sure you guys are following me on Twitter at CastnBlastCOC. And I'll catch you guys next time.